Hey traders, so we finally made it through that summer slowdown period in the markets and we're through to the other side and now fast approaching that first Friday of September. And as we all know, the first Friday of the month is NFP Day. That's the non-farm payroll report for the US showing their employment situation. And this is always an important economic data release, but probably even more so at the moment. And it seems like I'm saying that quite often at the moment, but it's obviously all about the Federal Reserve. Making more progress in the labour market is one of their last sticking points before tapering can take place. We've heard this from Jerome Powell in numerous speeches and from other Fed policymakers as well. But just last Friday, we heard from Powell at the Jackson Hole Symposium, which we were all waiting for. Now, although he didn't exactly come across that hawkish, he did say that it's likely that tapering will begin this year as inflation has made substantial further progress and the labour market is still making clear progress. Now, the consensus for the NFP report is that there'll be 750,000 new jobs, which is almost 200,000 below last month's one, but historically speaking, that's still a very strong number. Now, the ADP employment data that was released earlier in the week did come in well under expectations. Now, that could show that companies are struggling to fill vacancies at the moment. However, last month's ADP also had a big miss and NFP was still strong. So I'd take that ADP data with a pinch of salt if we're trying to use it to gauge what NFP may come in at. Another strong gain probably won't change much in terms of everyone's expectations that tapering will be announced in the coming months, but a big miss could shock the markets. And it may show that there are problems in the labour market, and therefore that may lead to the Federal Reserve pushing back their tapering announcement. So looking at the NFP releases from the previous months this year, typically the S&P will rise if the number beats expectations, and the market has actually had slight declines if it misses before quickly recovering. The outlier was of course in June when it did miss by 100,000, but the previous month was so bad that that month came as a good sign that the labour market was back on track. So I guess if we're going to have a rule of thumb here, you could say that in general so far this year, if there was good news from NFP, the market would rise, and if there was bad news, well, the market would still eventually rise. Now, there's still nothing on the all-important tapering timeline just yet, but if we get positive news from this NFP release, it is possible we finally could get good details in the September meeting and possibly even an announcement there and then. Now, if they're looking to announce this year, which I think is definitely the plan, there are only 4 more FOMC meetings left, including the September one, so they are running out of time. Once announced, we could expect them to take a similar approach to last time around, which you can find out more about in our previous video. If you click up here, you'll find that one. Now, of course, apart from the usual markets that I follow for intraday trading, the one that I'm looking at for the NFP release is the Dow, which we can see on screen. Not much change from the previous times I've shown you this since it's been consolidating around there, but we have some clear levels for a path of resistance. Of course, we have that strong bullish structure, so any pullbacks to that trend line and failure there, so it has to fail at that level, not if it's going with momentum. That could give us chances to sort of buy any dips there. If it does react positively to tomorrow's news, if we break through this B point and this swing high here, the all-time highs, then we could see an acceleration towards a combination of a couple of extension levels up here from the previous 2 ranges. And when we get up there, I'd probably be looking to fade the move unless there's huge momentum. I don't expect that it's going to push up higher with that much more momentum, maybe obviously like a day or 2 of big momentum, but I don't think we're going to see sustained rallies until we know for sure what's happening with tapering. So that's all for now. Leave your comments below about what markets you're following or what you're expecting to happen next, or just how your summer break was if you took one. Whatever you want, leave your comments down below and hit the thumbs up button if you found this useful or interesting. I'll see you in the next one.